Cool. Well, Aurelio, I'll ask about it. Was the literal difference between your side winning and drawing tonight Jamie's disallowed goal? Do you think it was the right call?
I think we were having that discussion whether that should have just been allowed and then checked from the VAR. We thought there was probably worse tackles in the middle of the pitch, which he let go. Don't get me wrong, he's a very good referee. There's a lot harsher tackles that were let go and play continued, and that one looked pretty soft.
Prior to that point, it felt like you were finishing with a bit of a wet sail there at the end. There was a lot of desperation. Obviously, Leo goes close just moments after that disallowed goal. Do you felt like maybe if there's another 10 minutes in that game, it doesn't matter about the disallowed goal because you get another?
Yeah, not sure about the extra 10 minutes. Look, the game, it was pretty tight tussle most of the game. We were pretty good first half without really having that final pass in the front third. They had a little bit of a 10-15 minute spell probably in that second half, and then we sort of composed ourselves and went on from there. But again, we had a lot of, I'm not sure the numbers, but I think we had a lot more entries in the front third in open play without really hurting them in a way. Our final ball wasn't great, our crosses weren't great. Probably a few times decision making, Leo dribbled, cut one back and then slipped. Small things like that probably we should be a little bit more efficient with.
Tony Popovich indicated that maybe in the lead up to or Victor at least thought in the lead up to the McLaren would-be goal there was a foul. Did you know much about that? Or
not sure. I haven't seen it all. So.
And Tolga Arslan, we're starting to get to see a bit more of the best of him after dealing with that toe injury. He created some big moments. He nearly scored early on. Yeah. His
toe's totally healed now, so he's much better. He's a lot fitter now. He's starting to complete 90 minutes with relative ease. And I just thought the whole group today was consistent. We saw a much better Leo tonight, much better Hamza tonight. Everyone played to a level that is at least more than acceptable. Just got to build on that, try to do it better, try to do it for longer. And certainly, we need a little bit of work in the front third. Up to now, we've scored goals quite easily, but we've also conceded. So I think a bonus for us tonight was also not to concede. And I thought not just defenders and Jamie in goals, but everyone defended as a group, and that was important for us.
You probably didn't create a really gilt-edged chance until that McLaren opportunity. Is that probably one of the more frustrating aspects of the match?
Well, I think I mentioned we were getting into the front third without having anything really, really clear. Leo's on two occasions were probably the best ones. And then I think Izzo made that save to his left towards the end. So, probably in games like this, they had a couple of shots, but games like this is probably generally, I don't know, not too many real clear-cut chances. As I said, I think it was a really tight battle throughout the 90 minutes.
And Aziz was obviously one of the more sprightly members of your team tonight, in more ways than one.
He'd rather play one of these games every week. Yeah.
And you're obviously going to lose him soon, which is great for him. Just to comment on just, I guess, how proud the club is of him to get the call up again.
Yeah. Aziz is such a competitor and an honest competitor. So, we're fortunate to have him. Great that he's going away to represent the country. Bad for us because he's going to leave a pretty big hole. But in saying that, we got Scotty ready to go. Young Harry as well, if we need to. So the cover's not a problem in that area.
So are you going to look at possibly bring someone in temporarily or not? How are you going to see
Michael?
that?
No. The window hasn't opened yet.
And just back to the Bayhitch incident with Mishash. I mean, Mishash did make contact with his face. Do you think it was a bit unlucky?
Well, I didn't see it, to be honest, and it was that far away, so he did make I don't know. It's difficult to see. But that doesn't surprise me that Aziz was in the middle of it.
I just wanted to wonder about Andrew Naboo and how his rehabilitation of his long-term injury is going. Does he any chance this season, or is he still pretty far off?
Yeah, he's a big chance this season, and he started training a little bit more now this week with the group. So he's doing really well. He's in really good shape. He's going to be still some weeks. As I said, only this week, 3 times he's been training with the group, so he's done a little bit more every day. He's still got a fair way to go. I'm not sure exactly how many weeks, but he's in our possession drills without any contact. He's in our passing exercises without any contact. So he's going to get to a point where he can join in our competitive exercises with contact. So that'll be his next step over time, and he still needs a little bit more conditioning. And then obviously he's going to be having a lack of match conditioning because he can't play anywhere. So I can't put a date on it, to be honest, but certainly at some stage he'll be involved this season for sure.
Then just one more on Jamie McLaren's now 3 games he hasn't scored, which is pretty unlike him. And he's obviously been battling with that ankle knock over the last few weeks. Have you thought about it, or maybe just giving him like a game or 2 off just to let him recover and get fully
You want to kill
back?
me, do you?
Well, I mean, he hasn't been scoring when he's on, so...
As a striker.
Yeah.
He's a striker. He probably won't score for 6 weeks, and then he'll go bang, bang, bang. So, look, we know that he was suffering with his the ankle issue. It's still not totally healed, but he's battling away, and he's making great runs. We've probably got to be a little bit more positive. He's making runs, and we're not actually seeing him, and we're not playing him. So, especially when we beat that initial press from the opposition, we're going back a lot of times instead of trying to get forward, and then he's making runs and we're not seeing him. So we probably got to reward his runs a little bit more. We got to reward our midfielders' runs a little bit more than we have been.
Just Aurelio, you talked before about some of these final passes not being there, the cutbacks not being there. I think there was one moment in the game you burst out in transition. Jamie made a run and it wasn't fed. I think it was Tolgay with the ball.
Yep.
When you go about trying to fix this, you've spoken a lot about extended periods of training. Is it that? Is it getting them on the training track consistently together so they can familiarise themselves and start hitting those balls? Do they need a big win in one of these games to just sort of mentally reset them? How do you think you start finding that final pass, that final ball that you need?
Well, all the above, to be honest, because if we don't train, then we can't improve. We're not going to get that from games. And up to we had, I think I've said it 100 times, the international week was the only time we had I think it was 5 sessions for the first time since I've been here. This week we've had 3, so and in those 3s we're also prepping for this game, and we're also adding things at the end of the training session and during the training session to cover some of those areas. We covered the front third area that this week, but that's only once. They need a fair bit of repetition. I believe we're just going to get stronger for sure. And all those things that we're suffering, all those areas that we're suffering in at the moment, and suffering, I'll say that we could be a lot cleaner, especially in the front third with that final ball. Those things will come the more we work on it.
You're currently in the midst of a 1-month spell here in Melbourne. You get like your away games against Western United, so you don't have to travel. Everything's in Melbourne until the Mariners in late Jan, 21st of Jan. Does that help with that you don't have to worry about losing any days to travel? Yeah,
correct. I think that's important for us. We're able to sleep on our own beds and not worry about travel. And I think the important thing is that we can be consistent over this month. And as I said, get a good bit of training, recovery, whatever else we need to do in terms of prepping, and actually that little bit of extra work that we haven't been able to do.
Just on Andy, the fact that he's even doing 3 sessions a week after doing his Achilles on the eve of the season, what are you feeding him? Like, how has he recovered this quickly? I know he's still far away.
He's a monster,
yeah. No. How's he done that?
Well, I think part of it's genetic, and he's. he's got an incredible work ethic, and you know, sometimes when you're injured, you know, you got time to reflect and work on different parts of your game, of your body, and he's certainly been doing that. So look, he will definitely be rusty when he comes back. That's normal, but hopefully in time that, you know, we can start giving him minutes and get him to a situation where he can start to play 90 minutes. I think that's going to be a huge benefit for us.
Just on Leo Natel, you spoke about you have been happy with some of his progress he's made. How much
Who,
more?
sorry?
Leo Natel, the winger.
Leo, yeah.
Leo, yeah. You spoke about sort of the progress he's made. How much more do you think he can almost make? As it's clear to see sort of how much talent he has.
A lot. You know, his history, hadn't played for probably about 12 months. We made a very late decision to bring him in, probably right at the last minute, I think it was. And he was certainly underdone coming back from a pretty severe ankle injury. As I said, hasn't played in 12 months. So, again, he was another one on top of Lex, on top of Andy, that we had to slowly start to build, get his confidence back, get him some game time, get him into better condition, because he wasn't in very good condition when he came here. But I think tonight, that was definitely his best consistent game tonight since he's been here. He's always shown us a glimpse, but tonight he was super focused. And I think you can see some of the things that he can do when he's, I think, you know, probably a succession of 5. I think that might have been his first 90-minute game he's played. You get 4 or 5 of those in a row, you're going to see a different player. Then he will have some competition when Lex and Abu comes back. But for us, that's perfect. You know, it's difficult for us. Even tonight, I wanted to make some more changes, but over the last couple of weeks, I've made some changes, and we've lost a lot of momentum in the game. So I was a little bit more, probably safe, if you want to call it. But, you know, I would have loved to play Ali a lot longer, but things were going okay. Yes, we had a spell, and then we weren't sure which one we were going to take off, and then, you know, we took off Marin to put on Benny to give us a little bit more life out there on the right-hand side. Great for the kids, you know, and the more they get minutes, the better it is for them, the better it is for us in the club.
And just on sort of your form at the end of games, you've sort of shown to be able to really wake up and sort of, you know, create a lot of chances. We saw Central Coast, who scored a late equaliser. MacArthur scored a late equaliser. He almost had a winner. Sort of how are you able to sort of fire up this team in those late stages to, you know...
I think, to be honest, I think that's really unrealistic of what we did against MacArthur. We came back from the last 10 minutes to score twice against Central Coast. We came back again. That's not sustainable. That's, you know, great that we have fight and we can't lose that, but over the long term, that's probably not going to be sustainable. So great that they find that little bit extra when they need it. I'd prefer that was during the course of the game, and by the 90th minute that we're home and hosed. But still, I've got to give a lot of credit to all the staff, the medical staff, our coaching staff. Excuse me. You know, it hasn't been easy over this couple of months, but they've stuck hard with everything that we want to do. They're doing extra stuff, and, you know, times when they don't want to go into the gym, you know, we're pushing them to get into the gym because we know long term they're going to be in much better shape, and it's going to benefit not just them but the team as a whole.
Just one throw forward. Tight turnaround to the next game. How do you handle that? And do they get the day off on Christmas? Normal
for us. It's 4 days. Oof, that's huge. Yeah, we're going to come in tomorrow morning. So the guys who didn't play many minutes, so they'll have a top-up session. The boys who play will have a recovery. We'll have a nice Christmas lunch together, and Christmas Day will be off. And then we're back in 26th, 27th, and play on the 28th. And for us, that's quite normal because we've been doing that for the last couple of months anyway. So, they deserve it's Christmas Day, for God's sake. So, I think everyone's looking forward to it.
You back to Adelaide? Or
yes.
Coming here?
Yep. I'm going back tomorrow night. Yep.